everybody. Happy Sunday. I don't know where my chair's going. Hope you all had a great weekend and that you're all excited about everything going on today. You know, if you're a sports lover at all, it's a big day. We've got the Olympics going on. We've got the Super Bowl. If you're a football fan, unfortunately my team didn't make it to the final game, but I'm still going to watch the game, and I'm just hoping for a good game. I don't cheer for either one of those teams because they've always been big competition in the Bronco world. Okay, Seahawks used to be an AFC team in the Broncos division, so you know it goes back a while. But anyways, I hope you guys get to see what you want to see, and like I said, I'm just hoping for a good game. You know, it's always entertaining to watch the commercials, and sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to be watching the commercials. Other times I forget that, you know, I'm watching, you know, I just want to watch the game, right? So anyways, so I thought today we would, we'll draw our cards for week 6. Can you believe it? It's week 6 already. And we're going to make the Magic Purple Sun Catcher, okay? Because I wanted to get that made. I wanted to show you guys so that those of you that have the kits can get them before, or can make it up before Valentine's Day. Again, I don't provide written instructions for the sun catchers because I want you to make those crystals dangle and sparkle in whatever configuration you want. But you're welcome to follow mine, okay? So that's what we're going to do for today. So I had a fun week. I went to the gem show again on Friday, and I ran into Sarah and Kristen from Softflex. That was so much fun because I always miss them, and I've had so much fun this year. I ran into Candy Cooper from, you know, Candy Cooper, and I ran into Nina Kittleson from Hole in the Wall Beads, which she's also somebody who I love the stuff she sells, so I loved the fact that I was actually at the same shows as her. So that was fun to be able to say hello. And let's see, who else did I see? I saw Julie Peterson. So any of those that hang out in sort of the same places I do probably see Julie. So that was fun. And I met Deb Flores, which some people follow. I have to say I've not met her before, but it's always fun to meet, you know, more people in the beading world. So anyways, I had a really good time. Yeah, and had a quick chat with the Softflex ladies yesterday or Friday. So anyways, I got some more fun stuff. I'll show you. You know, trends this year, a lot of stuff the same as last year. I think there is a lot of trends for shaped beads. Hearts are still very big, which, you know, and I don't think it's just because this show happens right before Valentine's Day, because if you're stocking up on your stuff for the year, it's a little late for selling the hearts for Valentine's Day. But they were in stones, they were in crystals, pretty much anything. But you know what? They've been around forever, because I remember as a kid always having heart jewelry, right? All my little pieces of jewelry were hearts. So, yeah, hearts everywhere. I'll show you a few that I picked up. Another one that I saw a lot of this year that I don't remember in the past. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't there, because I might not have been, I wasn't looking for it, but cat's eye. Cat's eye seemed to be really big this year, and I saw a lot of that. And some of it was really pretty. I have to say that some of the fakey cat's eye I don't love, but that was there. And again, mixed strands were very popular. You know, I think it allows them to price things a little lower because they can mix in some cheaper stones with some more expensive stones, but they look very pretty together. And even some of the crystal stands, there's a lot of new mixed strands out there. What else did I see? You know, I think there's a lot of heishi still, rondelles. In some cases, it seemed like there was less tiny beads this year, which I had heard things were going to bigger beads, right? But in other cases, there were still a lot of teeny tinies out there. I kind of go back and forth. You know, some things I like in teeny tiny, some things I like big and chunky. Okay. But I can't always afford big and chunky. So anyways. All right. Since we started a little late, let's go ahead and get started. But I wanted to remind you, let's flip this over, that our sale is continuing through next weekend. And if you contact me directly, I will make sure that you get those prices. But if you choose to use the website, which you can, it's https://desert-cat-creations, or sorry, / desert-cat-creations.square.site. Okay, and if you buy one item, you can get 26% off putting in the code New Year 26. If you get 2 items, put in a code Double Fun, you get 30% off your order. And if you get 3 or more items, put in bundle 35 and you get 35%. So on Facebook, you'll find that there are some examples of some of the common bundles. So like many of my cards have things that go with them. So the Sun and Sea deck has a bead mix that goes with it. The Desert Southwest decks has 2 bead mixes available that coordinate and work really well with that. The non-jewelry and findings, there's 2 findings kits that go with it. And I don't have anything extra with the color deck because, you know, it's everything, right? All right, so if you ever have any questions, please contact me directly. And like I said, you can contact me directly. But look what I got. Blue, beautiful blue crystal, which means with my heart restock, I can make a lot more blue sun catchers if people like them. I just love this shade of blue. And won't these look super sparkly? I only got 1 strand of the chiclet. You know, these look just like the old chiclet gum, right? I'm aging myself here, right? Also found some hearts, you know, because can you ever have enough hearts in your heart sun catcher? So got some blue hearts there. Yeah, we got some smaller crystals as well. So lots and lots of blue to use in our blue sun catcher kits if we want. If you like this color scheme. All right, and then if you're not familiar with Cat's Eye, so I did pick some up. These strands are actually pretty good quality. It's, you know, they're glass beads. They're not stone, but these were super fun. This was a smaller one, and they faceted them, and I really like. I have to admit, I really like the faceted ones. So I think we're gonna play with those, and I got them in these, and I got some little teeny tiny rounds. So, you know, being Desert Cat, we gotta play a little bit with Cat's Eye this year, I think. All right, and one other thing I got, like I said, there were hearts everywhere, and maybe we'll do a project in the next couple weeks using these. But I got these green. They're jade. I'm sure they're dyed. They're not because of the color of jade. But you know what you can do with hearts is you can make 4-leaf clovers. These ones are really thick. So I think before St. Patty's Day, we will make a 4-leaf clover pendant or charm or something. Anyways, so that's, I think, what we're going to do today. So that's the kit we're going to do, but let's draw our cards first. All right, if you're new to Bead Stash Challenge, remember, we've got Bead Stash Challenge is a series of decks of cards with the idea that if you're stuck in your creative ventures, I will say, you can use these cards to, you know, motivate you to decide what to make. You know, those of you that just went to Tucson or have been buying bunches of beads from the people that went to Tucson, you may now have a large pile of beads and you don't know where to start, right? Because, you know, some people look at beads and know exactly what they want to make with them. Others don't. Sometimes, you know, you're a bracelet person or a necklace person or whatever, so you make a lot of the same thing. You know, I used to only ever make earrings because wearing bracelets, sitting at a desk at a computer was tough. But anyways, these cards can help push you out of whatever you're stuck in and help you get more creative as you use them. So let's see what we're going to make this week. We are going to make a bail. So I have all 5 of our decks mixed together. So that's our base deck, which if you're just starting out, you should buy deck 1, which is $15. Right now it's 26% off or more, depending on what else you buy. All right. The second deck is the color expansion. So it adds more use cards and some challenge cards. So if you're one of those people that designs in the same color all the time, and I am guilty of that. Now, I've expanded my colors a little bit because I do make things for other family members that have different color interests than I do. And you know what? I am going to zoom this in just a tad here. All right. All right. And our third deck is our non-jewelry and findings deck. So that tells you to make things like sun catchers or ornaments or making your own findings. And again, that adds a bunch more use cards and make cards. Okay. This bail is from that deck, right? And then we have our sun and sea deck, which is all about like summer vacation, beaches, really warm places, right? So it's a great one to get you in the mood for summertime. It could technically be used by itself. You just have a very limited number of make cards, but it has things from all 3 categories. And then we also have our Desert Southwest deck, which is our most recent one, which also has all 3 types of cards. So it can actually be used by itself as well. But I still encourage you to use it with the base deck just because it's very limited on what you are using. But anyways, all right. So now that we know what we're going to make, the next thing we have is use cards. And these are to get us to use the different items that are in our bead stash, okay? Because otherwise, you know, sometimes you just go to the newest things in your bead stash. Your favorite old standbys, right? Instead of looking through and seeing what you got. Now, my pile is really small right now because I'm getting ready to flip it over. So as we do these shows, I set them aside until we run out of the deck, and then I shuffle everything back in and we start anew. You can draw as many as you want. I recommend drawing 3. If you're just starting out, maybe 1. So in this case, I'm making a bail, which means I'm going to put a bail on something, right? Now, these other cards will help me define what that something is. So I have to use a magnetic clasp in my design. So I'm obviously going to make a necklace or a bracelet, right? I am going to use orange in my design. See, this is one of those get you out of your color. And we're going to use gemstones in our design, all right? So if you draw something that doesn't make total sense with, you know, what you're supposed to make, you can always put the card back in and draw again. It's okay. All right. So like if I were to draw 2 clasps, I could put one back and draw again. I will say, you know, sometimes you find yourself with multiple clasps and there's nothing else to do. I have made projects work with multiple clasps, but anyways. All right, our last kind of card is our challenge card. And these are things to just push that design process a little further. So it may be a design aspect to your project, like making it for a man, or making it asymmetrical, or using a certain number of components. That's what a challenge card does. Or it may be a theme that you apply to it. A lot of the cards from our Sun and Sea deck and our Desert Southwest deck are themes that you apply to your project. So I'm down to 2, so we will be flipping that deck, I think, at the same time as the other ones. So, and we are gonna design something inspired by Arizona. So obviously this is from our Desert Southwest deck, but I think that's doable. You know what? We have beautiful orange sunsets around here and sunrises, although sometimes they're more pink than orange, but it depends on the day. All right, so this week we are going to make a bail. We are going to use it in our design that will include a magnetic clasp, orange gemstones. Now, I could still use the orange and gemstones in the bail, so we'll see what we come up with there. And my overall design is going to be inspired by Arizona. And I realized that there's a little bit of glare. I got the shiny finish on the cards because I liked it, but it doesn't help when we're looking at things with the bright light. Okay. But that's what we are going to make on Thursday. We will be making that live at noon Mountain Time. And the reason I don't, draw and then make things live is because I've got to go look through my stash and find the things that go with those projects. All right. So we are going to make this guy today, or something very similar to him. So, so these particular hearts are in a, it's called Magic Purple, but it's also, Swarovski used to have something that was vitriol, that is very similar. Okay. So these kits are available. They're $10. They don't come with directions, but you can get them. So let's open up one of our kits. So I'll have to then pack a new kit after I make this, but it's okay. All right, and if you get this, just so you know, on the back of the card is all of our social media, so our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram, and our email. Okay. All right, let's look and see what's in the kit. Now, my kits, I do not supply wire. For the moment, we'll see. Some of them I might in the future, but I did supply everything else. So your kit will come with a large heart, and these are like, what are they, 30? They're like 30 millimeter. So they're big. This one's like 18 or something. Maybe 22 top to bottom. All right. Then I also included 4 crystal coins. These are the Magic Purple, and these little coins, they're 10 millimeter coins, are from Beadoria and Stars Beads over there. Then I also included the 14 millimeter coin, which is not my original design, but which is also from Stars Beads and Beadoria. Okay. And then we have a little package of metal stuff. All right. And so I'm giving you 3 of these little metal pewter coin beads. These are silver coated pewter. And then you're getting like 9 inches, and that should be plenty of this tiny paper clip chain. And then you're getting just some small silver spacers. Okay, so in the example, I put the spacers at the top and bottom of each of these hearts, and then I did not put it, I didn't put them anywhere else, so you will have a couple extras. I thought I had added the cord in there, but, or the ribbon, but if I remember, I will add the ribbon to your package. Okay. But there actually will be enough chain. There's the other end. If you want to make a chain as your holder on the top, I think there is enough chain left when you're done with this. It all depends on how long you make your dangles, okay? And you could put chain in between. So like on this one, this is our purple one as opposed to the magic purple, okay? I put chain in between, and then, you know, I dangled these ones with chain, and you can, so that's also an option for you. You know, you are not required, you know, if you want to put your big bead at the bottom, we could do that. We could make it differently than this one. I don't know why I kind of, sometimes I like to put the big one at the top just because everything's dangling down, but let's see what we want to do. And like I said, I hadn't put this particular bead in the original design, so let's see if we can zoom in just a tad more. All right. So we could, you know, even build like this. And have dangles off the bottom. We can do what I did before and put just the little coin in there. I don't know. I think if I'm gonna use dangles, which I'm planning to, I think we'll make the example. All right. Now I added this because I thought it would be cute of the dangle, but the question is, do we need more sparkle at the bottom or sparkle at the middle? I think I'm going to put it at the bottom. All right. This is what we're going to do. So for this example, I can build top down or bottom up. Just a reminder, when you're working with hearts, you want to do whatever this end is first, the one that's indented. Okay, so you can build top down. All right, I'm gonna well, let's do top down in this case. All right, so, well, you know what? No, because I wanted to see if I had enough chain left. All right. Oh, hey, Janelda. Tell Crystal hi. We are making our heart sun catcher. Alright, so what I did when I made the bottom of this is I did make them all different lengths. So my shortest one was just three links of chain, and then I made one that was 4, one that was 5, one that was 6, and one that was 7. Okay, so I did five dangles. So let's go ahead and cut that chain. So I believe this is stainless steel chain, so you should probably use your thicker cutters. But I'm going to cut a section of 3. And then 4. So 1, 2. You could cut them all the same length if you wanted. Or you could cut here, we'll do this one a little different. So we'll do just 3 different lengths rather than the cascading length, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Or, you know what? No, I want to do the cascading it again. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry you guys can't see this, but okay. So you'll see here, I still have this much chain, so I could use this chain as the top hanger on my sun catcher. And you have 2 options. I did not include a, you know, you could just connect that on there if you want that connected, or if you have a lobster clasp, you can add a lobster clasp, which will allow you to, you know, hook it over something. So that's is an option for you. I think we're going to hook ours directly on, but see, the lobster clasp allows me to allows me a couple things. One, so I can loop this over something, you know, in case there's something in the way, like if you're hanging it from your car mirror. And if I want to adjust, you know, how far down I can, you know, move this chain or move the clip different places. I will say on this example, this purple one, I think all my chain links are a little long, and so I did plan on shortening those. All right, but move those guys away. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is attach things to my chain dangles. All right, so I'm gonna use head pins just because it's easier. You can make your own though. All right, so I think to make things extra sparkly, I'm going to hang this one from my longest one. So we can start with that. Hopefully these will be enough bottoms, we'll find out. Looks like it'll fit. All right. So all I'm going to do is do a small wrapped loop. All right, wish me luck. These are stainless stainless head pins, which means sometimes they are not easy to make them do what you want them to do. All right, so I've got my loop made. I'm just going to take one end of that chain. I'm going to slide it on. That. And then let's actually switch pliers because it's easier to pull this around with these ones. And like I said, these are very stiff head pins. So this may be a case where you do want to make your own. All right, and now I'm just grabbing the end of that wire and I'm trying to pull it around, and it is not being cooperative. All right, you know what? Nope. All right, let's see if we can make this work. So sometimes you just have to push from behind. All right. So I think we are not going to use these head pins. I do not like them. All right. Let's get this off of here. Yeah. All right. I don't like those. Let's see if I only had one head pin in the ones I All right, well, we're just going to make head pins real quick then. What you got to say about that? All right, I am going to just take some 22 gauge wire. And I am just going to make these to fit. So I'm basically going to wire wrap the bead onto here instead of... All right, you know what? No. All right, I'll be good. We'll make some wrapped head pins. So I'm going to cut 2 1/4 inches. Sorry guys, it'll go much faster after this. Alright, so remember to make these knotted head pins, first thing we're going to do is make a little double loop. And then you're going to pull the wire up across the double things, and I'm twisting or turning it, bending it over and sticking it back through the loop. All right, come on. Why I'm having, there we go. Having so much trouble today. All right, now I'm going to pull that through and grab my rubber or my rubber tip pliers, and I'm just going to pull that tight. It doesn't have to be super fancy. Remember, we're not making jewelry. We are making something that's going to be hanging from a distance, right? All right, so we got our 2 rows. Flipping this around and sticking it through. Through the loop. And I'm going to pull. I know these are sloppy, but you know what? It kind of straightens out when you do it. All right, it's 2. We need 3 more. We can do this, right? Oh, I'm really running slow today. Sorry about that, guys. I guess I talked too much at the beginning of the video. That one didn't flatten out very well, but that's okay. All right. Loop. I know I have some more pre-made ball head pins. I just dig them out of my stash, huh? But we just get a quick reminder here on making our own, right? So if you don't have one, you can make them. One more. All right. There we go. All right, so we got head pins now. That was a slight delay. Sorry about that, guys. All right, now I can, well, I'm still gonna need everything but those. All right. Okay, so let's try this again. Got our knotted head pin. Then we are gonna attach this. For knotted head pins, I would recommend using 22 or 24 gauge. 20 gauge, you can make them, but it's just your knot's gonna be a little stiff. All right, now which one was my longer piece of chain? Must be this one. All right, we're sliding that into that loop. And since I'm using this softer wire now, I can just wrap that. So that's the difference between using, you know, a copper-based wire versus stainless. I do like the idea of stainless because it doesn't tarnish and it's it's supposed to be hypoallergenic, but it can be hard to work with. So if you're new and you're starting out and you're struggling with wire wrapping, it's probably because you're using steel head pins. They're not made out of soft wire. All right, so we've got our big one. So I think the next one up, I'm going to do a metal bead on. So I'm mixing in my metal and my, but you could do yours all sparkly. There we go. My sparkles are moving around. So again, we do our 90 degrees. We do our loop. And let's see, we use our next longest chain, all right? And I'm just gonna grab that. And you know, some of these I made longer than others, so you just may have to trim it. All right, so there's number 2. All right, let's do a sparkle bead. So I could have made these much shorter since these beads are not very big, but I was in a hurry. All right, so I'm going to take my next longest chain. Now, there is no right or wrong order. You know, you could have attached your chains to the rest of your sun catcher before you put your dangles on, you know, so if you're not sure how sparkly you want to make it, you can certainly build it from the top down. It's whatever you're comfortable with. It's kind of like earrings. I build from the bottom up on my earrings. All right, I think get that out of there. We'll do another metal one. Yeah, I definitely could have made these shorter. I mean, it's a little harder to make the head pins, but you waste less wire. And again, we're using, yeah, I've been using this chain a lot lately. It is, I just love this dinky chain. Did see more, I saw more chain this year, but still haven't really found anybody that sells chain by the spool at the gem show, or good, decent chain, you know. All right, I think we need one more sparkle here. The chain is stainless steel. I double check, but I am pretty sure it's stainless steel. So yes, you should use your memory wire cutters to cut the chain. Which actually means you could, you know, hang this outside without, I don't want to worry about the chain, but, you know, I am not using stainless steel wire, so the wire might eventually tarnish, although it's not supposed to, but if it's exposed to the weather, it might, or it will, actually, I should say, eventually. It all depends on what kind of wire you use, but you know, if you hang it kind of under something, you know, it'd be somewhat protected. You could probably keep it outside. All right, there I got all my pieces of chain. Now I want to do, I'm going to switch to 20 gauge just because these are bigger beads. And again, you want to do your loop that sets down in here first. So I am going to put my spacer on there, and then my heart, and then another spacer. And we are just going to make a wrap loop up here that we will attach something to. You can use 22 gauge for this. I just, like I said, I just like to use 20. And I should be using my cheaper wire since this isn't jewelry. I bought some more like wrapping wire, you know, that I don't have to worry about whether it's nickel free or not. All right, so now I need to make a loop on the bottom. So you can easily slide that down into the hole. Now I need to, oops, sending things flying. I'm going to be attaching these 5 pieces of chain on here, so I need to make somewhat, so I'm going to move towards the back of my round nose pliers and make a bigger loop. All right. And then we'll just trim that. And now you have a little bit of a design decision to make. Now, when you do your dangle, I put these on so it kind of ends up being a waterfall, although it really doesn't matter, because when they're dangling, they're all dangling together. But sometimes, like if I was doing 2 short ones, you know, 2 of the same size and then 2 of the same size and a longer one, you want to put those on opposite sides of the middle one, or the longest one, right? But in this case, we are just going to go in order. So I'm doing longest, and what I'm doing is just sticking the top hole in the chain on there. Right. And doing it this way, you know, I'm not needing any jump rings. And it adds strength to my design so that it's less likely to come apart for whatever reason. So I probably could have made it slightly smaller, but it's all right. Right now I am just gonna finish wrapping my wire. Let's do a little trim there. Why are you not? Oh, that was dangerous. So there's something to keep track of. I had the back of my my loop in there. I want to cut that loop. That was almost a big learning lesson, wasn't it? All right, now I have the bottom part of my sun catcher all done. I think I might actually skip the middle bead on this one, and we're just gonna put that top one on here. All right, so let's put a spacer bead. Now remember, I have to do the in this case I have to do the top one first. So now I have to decide if I'm going to use my chain as my holder. So I think I am going to. All right, just because we're doing things different here. All right, so gonna do our 90 degrees, and we're gonna do, doesn't have to be a big loop because I'm not trying to get a ribbon through there. All right, so I am going to go ahead and just put both ends of this chain on here. Are you not? Are you stuck? Now you can cut some off if you decide this is too long. So let's see. Is that? I'm gonna leave it that way because, you know, you might have something big you need to slide it over. And now I am just finishing my wrap there. What am I doing? I'm a mess. That's what I'm doing. All right, so let's. Tighten that up. All right, now we can slide everything up, and then we just need to make a connection to our the bottom part of our sun catcher. All right. So now I am just going to slide these two together. All right, come on. There we go. All right, so I got that. I'm not worried about what direction my hearts are facing at the moment. So I'm going to grab that so I can hold on to it. And I'm just using my fingers to push the wire until it gets short. And now I'm going to grab my other pliers and grab the end, just pull it around. Let's squeeze it a little. It's bent up a little bit, but Again, make sure I don't cut any loops. I don't want to do that. And we're going to be here all day, huh? If I have to remake it. All right. And now, I'm just going to tuck that end in. All right, now I do want to make sure, well, you know, it's kind of up to you. I like my colors facing the same direction. So let me move all these around because I don't think we need them anymore. Goodness sakes. All right, so there we go. We got a super sparkly with some dangles. You know, if you wanted to hang this in your car, it would send sparkles everywhere, right? And you have a few extra beads left. All right. So here's the version we had before. Where I used my big one of the little metal lentils, and then my sort of medium-sized heart, although we don't have a small one in here, right? And then I used just my 4 sparkles and a metal bead there. So on today's, we used our extra chain for the hanging part. I did not make it adjustable with the lobster like I showed you, but we've got those, and we've got the even sparklier dangle down here. So when you make yours, I'd love to see your variations on those. Again, I do have more kits available. At the moment, they'll be exact. I have a limited number of these, so I will have to switch them out to something else when I run out. But at the moment, this is what we have for our heart sun catcher. Now, unless people ask for it, I probably won't do a video for this other one because it's pretty much the same. And no, I did not include the lobster in there, but again, you could add that out of your own stash. But I mean, this one is the same thing. I just dangled it on pieces of chain, adjusted the chain. Like I said, I think my sections of chain were a little long on this one, but it all depends on where you're going to hang it and how much dangling you want. All right, so again, one last thing. Don't forget, our sale is going on through next weekend. Again, our sales through next weekend, New Year 26, double fun, bundle 35, get you 26%, 30%, 35. Janella, how much would I sell this for? So I would probably start at 20 to 25, and I am bad at underpricing, quite honestly. I mean, you sell things. What do you think? I think, you know, most people 20 to 25 for something like this is not a bad, you know, as far as assembly. The kits are 10. So normally I take my kit price and then I, you agree? Yeah. And then I kind of add, I add to it. You know, when I have my starting price, occasionally I will discount things because, you know, you're adding wire costs money, your time costs money too. So, yeah, so 20, 25 is what I would do. All right. But depending on what market you're in, maybe people are willing to spend more. Who knows? Anyways, there we go. That's our our last of our heart sun catchers. So if you missed me at the beginning, I do have a bunch of new blue stuff. So we will be, okay, yeah. I do have lots more things in blue. So these are available again. I will have to double check. You know, I might actually be able to do something with the pink. Again, it won't be the same pink crystals, but I got some really shiny pink crystals that I picked up at the gem show. So, all right. So on Thursday, again, we'll be making a bail. We will be using gemstones. We'll be using orange. We'll be using a magnetic clasp. And our design will be inspired by Arizona. So there's that. All right. So thanks again for joining me. As always, I appreciate all you guys. And if you haven't already, please like and follow us at Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. All the videos after a day or two will be on YouTube, but after 30 days, they will not be available on Facebook, but they will still be available on YouTube. So, and if you ever have any questions, just direct message me. If you're on YouTube, you can drop a comment in there. It'll email me that, and we can have an exchange on anything that you want. And like I said, if you have any questions on any of my products, you're looking for something, or you want to suggest something, that'd be great. Also, if you haven't already, if you're members of our Bead Stash Challengers group, please take a look at the poll. I want to see what you guys are interested in for cards. I am going to put out a new deck. I just have to see what the current printing prices are. I may order as many as 2 decks this year, so we'll see. I definitely have one already in mind. And I will say there's one that I already even have I have the draft out there, assuming it's still there because I haven't logged on in a while onto that site. But I will tell you guys a little something, and we'll finish this up. But I have to be excited about them too, because I have to sell them and I have to make them. So if there's something you would really love to see, let me know. I only put things in the cards that I think I can figure something out for, because I don't want to make it hard for you, because I want it to be fun for you guys. I don't want to tell you to make something that's almost impossible to make without having master skills or something. So so anyways, of those ones that I suggested, I will say there's two of them that I'm very excited about. And so you will at least see one of those. But anyways, please take a minute, take the poll, and any feedback that you guys have. I know you end up with a big pile of cards, but it makes it fun, right? All right, I will see you all on Thursday. Have a great week. Enjoy, if you're a sports fan, enjoy the Super Bowl and the Olympics. And if you're not, hopefully it's not snowing and you can get outside and enjoy yourself, or at least sit inside and make something. So I will see you guys Thursday. Bye.